Angel Reese did what everybody expected Angel Reese to do. Basically,
Angel Reese is bringing back a legendary shoe. It's been reported that May 1st, the Angel Reese Shaq Gnosis shoes is dropping. If you're a 90s baby, you know how important these sneakers were. These were the shoes Shaq was wearing when he used to play like Giannis. From what I'm hearing, Angel Reese is dropping a whole capsule that includes these shoes. These as well.
Okay, so picture this. Reebok went all in on Angel Reese. They threw everything they had at it, expecting a huge slam dunk with her new shoe. But what they got instead, it was like the Titanic of sneaker launches. The hype machine was incredibly loud, seriously, but the shoe drop itself, it flopped harder than a belly flop at the Olympics. Now, the Reebok execs, they've got to be sweating right through their polos, wondering if they just funded the most expensive clearance item ever. Buckle up, because this disaster is about to get way funnier. Angel Wings.
Angel Wings? Hey, I think we got the official picks now. Reebok has officially gave us information regarding that heat Angel was wearing yesterday. It's on. Officially, these are going to be dubbed the Me Bounds, which I ain't mad at it. They got to send some over to Teague and them, though. You got to send some. I'll move out the way for y'all. But I know what colorway I'm getting. Forget them white ones. I need me 2 pairs of these. One for me and one for my little sis. I got to make sure she clean on the court. Let's go ahead and get y'all another image. I'm going to get out the way so I can get y'all screenshots in. But the word on the street is that upper is based off of Angel Wings. That makes this joint 10 times much cleaner.
Listen, Reebok really thought they'd struck gold here. For years, they've been just fading away while Nike and Adidas ran laps around them, right? So they thought they found their savior in Angel Reese. She's the Bayou Barbie. She's got that reality TV star charisma, and seriously, the confidence to sell ice to a polar bear. Reebok bet big on her. I mean, really big. You'd think this shoe launch was going to cure global inflation or something. And the marketing campaign, it had more drama than a telenovela. Seriously. Gotta give some love to the W, baby.
Dude, the amount of aura that it takes to go ahead and premiere your signature shoe on the cover of 2K, a lot of people were complaining about the fact that she's on 2K too, but I feel like a lot of those people, again, didn't understand the vision. I'm a person that has said for a long time too, she's the best player in the sky. If you actually watch, you can see, and that a lot of people compared her to Rodman. That was terrible because she always had the vision. She always had a lot of scoring ability too. So we're seeing that come into fruition. It's been an awesome week for her. I will say though, Reebok,
they were buying every commercial, every billboard, every stage, basically screaming that this was going to change everything. Instagram posts were yelling that this wasn't just some shoe, it was a revolution, a sneaker apocalypse, a total cultural reset. But here's the thing about revolutions, right? They only really work if people actually show up. Instead of storming the sneaker market, this drop flopped harder than a fish out of water. Reebok hyped it up like they'd unlocked the lost ark of the covenant. But when sneakerheads and casual fans finally got their hands on the product, the reaction was pretty much, this is it? There's even a clip of someone like losing their shoe, man.
Trying to put it back on in game. A guard goes to the bucket. You push the guard, look at the guard and be like, get that the fuck out of there. Fire clip. Intense as hell. Was it worth the tech?
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah.
I think the game was pretty close. That was a close game. And if I had took that playoff, we could have lost that game. I told the ref, like, hold on, 1 second, 1 second. She didn't want to wait, so that was what it was.
And get this, the shoes themselves, they looked less like some sleek, game-changing performance sneaker, and more like something you'd just find on clearance. You know, way in the back of a discount sporting goods store, probably right next to a dusty rack of last season's Crocs. The reviews came in hotter than a jalapeno in July, but definitely not in the way Reebok was hoping. Complaints about comfort, about the style, and especially the price. They just spread like wildfire. Memes were everywhere, too. People were joking that these shoes weren't even made for the court. They were made for punishment drills.
Well, there we have it. Someone went ahead and leaked the Angel Reese ones, and they getting fired. Yeah, they reeked them. Some boy named Kenneth leaked them. That's his name. Some boy named Kenneth. But I must say, they look a lot like the Reebok Engine Ace, which I understand. She tried some bad boys out for years. I want this from that shoe. I like it. But nah, these hard. When she said that she want her shoes worn with jeans, she want them worn like everybody wear Jordans. I was like, okay, in my brain, the white one's not going to work. The white and black one's not going to work. The purple black one's not going to work. But the pink ones, this might work. I can see everybody throwing some baggy cargos with this. 4/4 length cargos.
And the timing? Horrendous. The thing is, in a sneaker market that lives and breathes credibility, performance, and clout, Reebok basically threw their entire reputation into one basket. And guess what? That basket had a massive hole in the bottom. Instead of becoming the next Air Jordan moment, it just turned into another cautionary tale of corporate desperation. This wasn't just a small stumble either. It was a full-on embarrassing faceplant. Reebok executives had to just sit there and watch as the product they thought would carry the brand into a new era was instead turned into meme fuel. You could almost hear the panicked breathing from the boardroom, like someone just realized they mortgaged their entire future on a PowerPoint slide that simply said, "Gen Z loves Angel Reese." Now let's be fair for a second. Reebok didn't just pick Angel Reese out of nowhere. They weren't wrong about her star power. Not at all. But they were catastrophically wrong to think that star power alone could sell sneakers. Because when sneakerheads line up for a new release, they're not just buying a personality. They're buying history, they're buying credibility, they're buying performance. They're buying into a whole culture that demands way more than just some flashy marketing slogans. And that's exactly where Reebok stumbled right into the quicksand.
Speaking of Angel Reese, today we're reviewing the Reebok Engine A, the same version that we first saw Angel Reese play in. These released on February 13th for a retail price of $120 US. This ERS technology, or energy return system, felt like a great support system to play in. They're super plush on foot. And honestly, no disrespect to Reebok, but I was pleasantly surprised at how bouncy the cushioning was. Dark gray, translucent rubber here on the outsole. I appreciate that it's a little bit sticky when you first dig your fingers into it.
So, the rollout itself was just pure chaos, honestly, completely disguised as hype. Think flashy ads, Instagram campaigns that were totally over the top, and endorsements from influencers who probably couldn't tell the difference between a free throw and a layup. Everything about it just screamed artificial. It screamed boardroom decision, you know? And the fans, they saw right through it all. Instead of getting excited, people were actually mocking the shoe before it even had a chance to find its footing. Literally. Some were saying the design looked like it was pulled straight out of a time capsule from 2000. Others swore it looked like something you'd grab with a 2-for-1 coupon at Payless. That supposed game-changing design didn't inspire awe. It inspired laughter. Their last big hit, think Allen Iverson in the early 2000s. Those shoes were iconic, but nostalgia alone isn't going to sell a $150 sneaker in 20. By the time these shoes actually hit stores, that revolution they were talking about, it had already been written off as a joke. Instead of selling out in minutes, pairs were just sitting there on shelves, quietly gathering dust. Meanwhile, sneaker blogs were gleefully writing headlines about Reebok's latest misfire. What was supposed to be a bold comeback just turned into a total comedy of error. It's the kind of mistake that makes business schools create entire case studies titled, "How Not to Relaunch a Brand."
Load of this. Angel, I rock with you. But Angel Reese, she talking about something. Just like how they wear Jordans everywhere, I want people to wear the Angel Reese ones everywhere. Oh, I don't know who's wearing them everywhere. But she also said Reebok is back. People are going to be wearing Reebok everywhere. Niggas going to be wearing Reebok. But them Angel Reese ones, off the court, I don't know. I get it. These is valid on court. They look good. They do. Them Angel Reese ones, I can't call them AR ones. I can't disrespect Austin Reeves. The Angel Reese ones do look valid, bro. The Angel Reese design is cool.
The panic, man, it set in fast. Executives who probably thought they'd be popping champagne bottles were instead chugging Pepto-Bismol. Marketing teams who had been bragging about next-level consumer engagement were suddenly scrambling, desperately trying to explain away this total disaster. The disconnect between all the hype they created and the reality of consumer rejection was so wide, you could literally drive a semi-truck right through it. Reebok wanted to make headlines, and they did. All right, but definitely not the kind they wanted. Instead of Reebok revolutionizes sneaker game, they got Reebok suffers embarrassing flop after betting big on Angel Reese. The internet smelled blood, you know? And in 2025, once those memes start rolling, there's just no coming back from that. It's a mix of bad timing, bad execution, and a company so desperate to stay relevant, that they completely forgot the most important rule of sneaker culture. You absolutely cannot fake authenticity. And that right there is where this story gets even funnier. Because the more you peel back the layers of this whole disaster, the more obvious it becomes that Reebok never really understood the market they were trying to conquer. The funny part about sneaker culture is that it's brutal in ways even Wall Street wouldn't understand.
Black and white sports supporters, well, in case you do not know, the unrivaled 3x3 Women's Basketball League starts today, and I know so many of you are just really fired up and excited. The return of Angel Reese to a basketball court. You know, I was looking at the schedule. The whole broadcast is an hour long. Is that what I'm supposed to take out of this schedule? I don't get it. They're going to play the whole game, the whole broadcast, the whole 9 yards, because they got back-to-back games literally starting an hour.
Look, stocks can crash, right? But at least you'll usually find someone willing to buy in at the bottom. But with sneakers, if the crowd decides you're corny, you're just done. There's no bailout package for being uncool. And that's exactly what Reebok just discovered when Angel Reese's shoes hit the market like a wet sponge. Because fans didn't just reject the sneaker itself, they actually rejected the entire idea behind it. See, when you're selling basketball shoes, you're not just selling fabric, rubber, and some questionable color patterns. You're selling performance. You're selling credibility. You're selling a chance for some kid on a playground to feel like the next Jordan, or Kobe, or even Caitlin Clark. But Angel Reese's shoe, it just didn't give off that vibe. Let's be real for a second. Angel Reese is talented, she's bold, and she's an absolute magnet for attention. But in terms of basketball legacy, she's still really writing her story. She's not yet a household name like LeBron or Steph Curry, who can basically sell sneakers just by breathing on them. She hasn't hit that level where kids on playgrounds are copying her moves and dreaming of wearing her number. She's honestly closer to the beginning of her journey than the peak.
Angel Reese and Reebok just dropped a player-exclusive colorway of Reebok's new basketball shoe specifically designed by Angel Reese with her new logo on it, and they might be onto something here. So the shoe is called the Engine A, which is Reebok's newest basketball shoe that I think looks really good. It costs $120, is out in a bunch of colorways, and already being worn by Reebok's top athletes. Now this pair is themed around Angel Reese with her new logo on the tongue that was just debuted a few days ago, and acts as a teaser for her debut signature shoe with Reebok that's expected.
And here's what's crazy. Her actual signature shoe drop is expected early next year, which just makes Reebok's decision even stranger. It's like putting a rookie on the cover of a video game before they've even played a full season. Ambitious? Sure, you could say that. Smart? Not even close. And that's really where Reebok's whole strategy just fell apart. They truly thought personality alone could drive sales. And while Angel Reese definitely has personality to spare, sneaker culture isn't just built on personality. It's built on proof. Proof that the shoe actually works. Proof that the athlete can really carry that line. And proof that people genuinely want to associate themselves with the story behind it. Nike didn't just crown Jordan a legend with his first shoe, right? Jordan earned it by dominating the league and building up a whole mythology around himself. But instead of doing that groundwork, instead of building up a smaller line, testing the market, creating hype through scarcity, Reebok just went all in on one massive drop. They literally shoved all their chips into the center of the table and announced to the world, "This is it, folks, our big comeback." Only for the dealer to flip the cards and reveal Reebok was just holding a 7 and...
Angel Reese wanted her signature shoes to cost $1,000. Yeah, I said that. $1,000. That ain't the best part. They Reeboks. Who in their right mind paying $1,000 for some damn Reebok? I understand for the people in the back. Know your worth. But you also got to know what you ain't worth. And it ain't no damn $1,000 for no goddamn Reeboks. Man, you got LeBron James. The best to do it. And this generation anyway. Probably yours too. His damn shoes ain't even $1,000.
Reebok's big miscalculation wasn't just the shoe or even the athlete. It was a complete misunderstanding of the audience. Sneaker culture really thrives on storytelling, not just empty marketing buzzwords. When Nike drops a shoe, it always comes with history, heritage, and a super clear connection between the athlete and the product. When Adidas drops one, they attach it to performance or a cultural icon. Reebok, they basically attach theirs to a hope and a prayer. I mean, Allen Iverson was a cultural phenomenon, right? His shoes weren't just footwear. They were a symbol of rebellion, street style, and dominance on the court. Instead, the reaction to this was more like, cool, but what's Nike dropping next week? It's like trying to enter a rap battle, but you're only coming with nursery rhymes. The audience doesn't boo because they hate you. They boo because you just showed up completely unprepared. And Reebok, they were as unprepared as a student trying to wing a presentation after skipping every single class.
After Angel Reese officially debuted her first signature shoe, more colorways have begun to surface. And what is astounding is that people are already heated over the Reebok Angel Reese one more than 6 months before it is released. Haters are already having a field day while her supporters are vigorously defending her as they wait to score a pair of the shoe. There's a reason for this.
The fallout was instant. 2. Social media just roasted these shoes mercilessly. Memes were comparing them to like orthopedic sneakers your grandma would wear to bingo night. Reviews completely blasted the design, the comfort, and the whole vibe of the shoe. Honestly, the only people defending them were paid influencers who looked about as enthusiastic as someone being forced to smile in a hostage video. And the price tag? That was the absolute finishing blow. Reebok priced these sneakers like they were already iconic, right? As if people would happily drop top-tier money on a shoe that had zero heritage, zero hype, and no real design appeal. Consumers looked at the price, then they looked at the shoe, and collectively said, "You must be joking. If you're gonna charge premium prices, you'd better bring a premium product." Reebok basically brought a participation trophy. That's just not how it works. And that's not how it ever worked. Instead of writing a new chapter, Reebok ended up photocopying someone else's homework and doing it poorly. They wanted to be Nike without putting in Nike's decades of work. They wanted Jordan-level impact with totally rookie-level credibility. They wanted sneaker culture to bend the knee, but sneaker culture doesn't bow to anyone who hasn't truly earned it.
6 straight double-doubles, hooping on the court, and dropping your signature shoe? Hey, Angel in her bag. Angel's in her bag. For those that don't know, Angel Reese had a sneak peek of her signature shoe that is coming out very, very soon, making her the 4th active WNBA player to have a signature shoe at this time. 2nd woman to ever have a Reebok signature shoe, so doing her biggest one.
So, when this flop actually happened, it wasn't just about one shoe, you know? It was about Reebok being totally exposed. Exposed for not understanding the market at all. Exposed for thinking that hype could just replace heritage, exposed for believing that a flashy campaign could somehow cover up a really weak product. And now, they're left scrambling. Because once sneaker culture decides you're a joke, it's almost impossible to win them back. You can discount the shoes, you can throw in free merch, you can even pay influencers to keep pretending they love it, but deep down, you just know the truth. This sneaker isn't just a flop. It's a symbol of Reebok's desperation. Sales numbers were flatter than a pancake run over by a steamroller. I'm serious. Shelves were still completely full. Online stock levels weren't even budging. And the only sold-out signs came from retailers who just straight up refused to order any more pairs. Suddenly, the boardroom must have looked like a live-action comedy sketch. Imagine a group of suits frantically brainstorming ways to salvage a product that nobody wanted. Someone probably suggested slashing prices, only to realize that discounting a shoe this fast actually makes it look even more embarrassing.
With Louis, Gucci, them boys. Ain't no way we paying $1,000 for no Reeboks. We ain't even paying that for Jordans. Maybe she was running the play here. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. They were trying to hit across the head with a 40 ball. They say, hey man, we suggested $40 per pair. After negotiations, her strategizing and promoting her brand, they settled on $150. But whenever they hit her with the 40, she like, shit, I'm gonna aim for a band so they can then give me what I want, a regular shoe price, around $150. You know what I'm saying? $150, $200. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say that's what she was aiming for. Cause I'm very strategic. I analyze this shit. But that shit there is crazy. Them shoes would have been collecting dust.
And for Angel Reese, man, it was just an awkward moment. Her star power is definitely still there, but her sneaker was being roasted harder than a Thanksgiving turkey. The bigger picture here is almost tragic-comic, honestly. This flop just completely exposed the massive gap between what Reebok thinks it is and what the market actually knows it is. They thought they could just waltz back into the game after years of being irrelevant and act like kings. Instead, they got a brutal reminder that sneaker culture is absolutely ruthless. Legacy matters, performance matters, authenticity matters. And without those things, you're just another brand shouting into the void while Nike and Adidas are out there printing money. Angel Reese will absolutely recover. Her career is too big not to. But Reebok, they just reminded the entire world why they've been living in the shadows for so long. The punchline pretty much writes itself. Reebok didn't just launch a sneaker, they launched a comedy special disguised as footwear. Angel Reese may dominate on the court, but off the court, her sneaker deal is definitely playing junior varsity ball. And unless Reebok figures out how to stop tripping over its own laces, this won't just be a flop, this will be their entire legacy.